While textbooks often present a perfect world where every mathematical problem has an exact solution, reality is rarely so clean. Data is noisy, measurements are imperfect, and your target vector almost never lands neatly within the subspace you are working in. Faced with these technically unsolvable systems, we need a geometric survival tool: projection. Instead of giving up when we cannot reach the exact destination, projection allows us to find the absolute closest possible point by dropping a perpendicular shadow from our impossible target onto our reachable space. This fundamental act of finding the best approximation by minimizing error is what allows us to translate a messy 3D world onto 2D screens, filter noise out of complex signals, and build the foundation for machine learning algorithms like linear regression. We know the projection lies somewhere on this line. But where? If we stop here, slide short, the error vector is tilted. If we go here, slide far, the error vector is huge. Mathematically, we find the answer by watching the dot product. As we slide, the angle changes. Watch what happens when the error becomes exactly perpendicular to the line. The dot product hits 0. This gives us our master equation. Vector A dot error equals 0. So, we found the sweet spot geometrically. The error vector must be perpendicular to vector A, which mathematically means their dot product is 0. Let's unpack this by recalling that the error is simply the target vector B minus our projection vector scaled by some amount x. If we distribute the dot product and move our unknown x to the other side, we can solve for it. This revealing a simple fraction that tells us exactly how much of vector A we need. Multiply this by the direction vector and you have the projection formula. That specific term right there? That is your projection matrix. So, we have our formula. But what category does it actually fall into? Well, it satisfies two key conditions. It is symmetric, and applying it twice changes nothing. In linear algebra, that creates the gold standard, an orthogonal projection. Unlike perspective or oblique methods, this is the only one that guarantees the absolute closest approximation to your data. You have your 2D screen, and behind it, a single focal point, like your eye. Imagine a real 3D object out there in the distance. In our previous orthogonal method, the rays dropped straight down, but in perspective, light rays travel from every point on the object, converging towards that single focal point. They slice through the projection plane on their way to the eye. If we connect those intersection points, we get our 2D image. Notice the result? It's smaller than the original. This method creates the illusion of depth. Things farther away appear smaller. To understand the math of perspective, we just need to look at it from the side. Notice how we form two similar triangles, a large one reaching the object and a smaller one stopping at the screen. Because their angles match, their ratios must be equal. The projection height divided by the focal length equals the real height divided by the depth. Rearranging this gives us the perspective formula. Let's test it. An object at height 3 and depth 6, with a screen distance of 2, mathematically projects to exactly 1. This simple division by depth is how we turn a 3D world into a 2D image. Linear algebra has a limitation. Matrices cannot divide, but perspective requires dividing by depth. So we reverse engineer a solution. We start by adding a fourth coordinate, w equal to 1. Then we construct a special projection matrix. Where does this matrix come from? We built it specifically to solve this problem. Notice the bottom row, 0, 0, 1 over d, 0. We placed these values deliberately. When they multiply our vector, they snatch the depth z and place it into the w slot. Now, our vector holds the depth in w. Finally, the graphics pipeline performs the perspective divide. it automatically divides the whole vector by W. This executes the math we needed all along, shrinking the object based on its distance. Finally, we have oblique projection. Think of this like slanted rain. The projection rays are parallel to each other, but unlike orthogonal projection, they strike the screen at an angle. Watch the green rays. They slide the object's features sideways onto the plane. The result is special. Notice the front face? It remains a perfect, undistorted square, preserving its true shape and size. But unlike a flat 2D view, we can still see the top and sides, giving us a clear sense of depth. This is why it is so popular in engineering and technical drawing. Let's look at the math behind oblique projection. In a standard orthogonal projection, the rays would drop straight down, at 90 degrees. But here, notice the green ray? It projects the vector along a slanted path. The direction is not orthogonal to the subspace. This geometric tilt has a specific consequence for the linear algebra. Look at the matrix P on the right. If this were an orthogonal projection, the matrix would be symmetric, meaning the numbers across the diagonal would mirror each other perfectly. But here, notice the top right corner is a 1. While the bottom left corner is a 0. They do not match. This mismatch proves the rule. An oblique projection matrix is never symmetric. To summarize, let's define exactly what we are looking at. In every projection, we have 3 key components. The white vector is our input, the colored point is our output shadow, and the dashed line connecting them is the ray. In linear algebra, this ray represents the error vector, the information we throw away to flatten the object. How that ray behaves defines the projection. In orthogonal projection, on the left, the ray drops straight down perpendicular to the screen, making the math clean and symmetric. In oblique projection, in the middle, the ray is tilted and the error is slanted, which shifts the shadow sideways and breaks the matrix symmetry. And finally, in perspective projection on the right, the rays are not parallel at all. They converge towards a single eye point, creating realism but requiring complex, non-linear math.